Cause all my life I've been a trail nigga.
Freemason Watchtower Nation exposed author MAKU KAIZER newbie Kanoa Ali. I just want to go over basic comprehension, okay? Because a lot of us say that we get something, but you don't really get it. You think you know something, but you don't really know. I'm going to bring a series of words and we're going to go over description of those words and attach it to things that we are attempting to describe and explain. Also expose if those words or phrases are used incorrectly. That will bring you a distortion of the intended message. The way that we do that is by first gaining or grasping a view, and to do that is by comprehension or comprehending. And comprehend is to understand, to take in mind, grasp by understanding. Comprehension, act or fact of understanding. Now, that reminds me a lot of etymology, which is the fact and origins of words. Understanding, verb, to comprehend, grasp an idea, receive a word or words, or from a sign the idea is intended to convey, to view in a certain way. Now, I'm gonna go over with y'all the difference between the Dugdahmoundyah society, who is of the Mu Empire or the Imperium, and we're going to talk about the nationals, or these Watchtower nationals running amok and causing all kind of chaos. In the Freemasons, they're sent out to cause chaos, right? Order out of chaos is their motto. Let's go ahead and get into it. So what's the difference between an empire and a nation? That's simple. You do the etymology of it, and you'll find that empire is territory subject to emperor's rule. Now you notice it doesn't say subjects to it. Emperor's rule, it says emperor, okay? Now nation, a race of people. So that's the difference. You have a territory subject to emperor's rule, and then you have a nation, a race of people, unruly or not subject to a rule. We're gonna go over the nationals versus us, the imperials. What's the difference? What's an imperial? Having a commanding quality, a national, of or pertaining to a nation or a country, regarded as a whole. I don't know about you, but an imperial having a commanding quality versus a national, all right, which is simply an individual or national in particular, who is pertaining to a nation or a country, regarded as a whole. And when I say pertaining, I'm specifically saying away from, because we're saying the word of is short for off, okay? So of means away from or pertaining to, okay? Nation of peoples. So first we got to figure out what's the people, because a nation is a race of people, right? That's the etymology of nation. And people is synonymous with the word humans. So what's a human? A human, adjective, belonging to man. So what's a man? A man is a featherless plantigrade biped mammal of the genus Homo. You're like, what? Man, mammal? So you're saying man is short for mammal. All right. So a mammal is an animal of class of the mammalia, an animal that suckless its young. Animal. Any sentient living creature, including humans. So animal is synonymous with human, and human is synonymous with animal. If you go back and look at my other videos, what is a human, you'll find out that also human is connected and synonymous with the word monster, okay? So go back and check out that video. Now, we're gonna go over why that is, right? Why these morons, aka Freemason Moors, are going out here telling you that you're a man, free man, free white man, what else? Which Moors are, underneath one of these acts, right? Underneath one of these acts, they, the Moors that were here identifying as Moors knew to identify as white Moors, so they called themselves free white men. I'm gonna go over that in another video. So the Freemason Moors, Cointelpro operation. Now, you clearly see that this is the Black Mad Empress, who I'm gonna go over in great detail in another video. However, you can see that she's surrounded herself by Freemason Moors, especially this one. This one's in full, damn near full Freemason regalia. You see he got the dress on and a sash or whatever that is across his belly. Let's keep it moving. So we know that the Empress was very well aware of Noble Drew Ali and what he presented it, and they even identified to be a part of the Moorish Americans, etc., right? Now, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the divine constitutional bylaws are very specific. Well, I only say very specific, but we're going to get more specific. We're going to go to Act 6. With all of us members, they are not Negroes, coloreds, black folks, or Ethiopians, or black people or Ethiopians, okay? Now, all this other stuff is cannon fodder, you know. It's meritless and doesn't even need to be there. This is really the meat and potatoes, but y'all can go read the divine constitutional bylaws, which we are aware of. However, that is not our programming, okay? Noble Drew Ali brought what he could to those at the time, and they are still in grand error in their application, okay? So the great meeting is on. The 101 from Noble Drew Ali, and number 94 is Noble Drew Ali replies so eloquently when he was asked, "Will you define the word white?" Noble Drew Ali replied, "White means purity. Purity means God, and God means ruler of the land." So, if that is true, why are so many Moors denying to be white? They are in error. They don't want to be right white. They don't have the light white. These words are all synonymous, my guy. I've seen individuals preach the black national radical soft sid ideologies like the Mad Empress and her followers, who fly around these Pan-African flags, okay? And these are black flags. You see that? Clear as day, black flag. So you have a flag modeled after a Pan-African flag, okay? Which is known as the African flag, Black Liberation flag, okay? It's a black flag. The black flag was formed by certain irregular Confederate armies units in America's Civil War of the 1861 through 1865 to symbolize that they would neither give nor accept quarter, symbolizing the opposite of the white flag of surrender. So what that means is no quarters. Here we are. No quarter flag, signifying that the pirates, okay, that the pirates would now take no prisoners and give no quarter. Okay, so these mofos are pirates, and they was flying Jolly Rogers out there. And they'll lower the Jolly Roger and replace it with the all black flag, and that means they coming in and killing everybody, and they ain't gonna take no surrender. Who is Arlene Bay? I would consider him the unofficial, pseudo-official United Watchtower Nation leader, right? That's what he's going around professing. That's what others are professing him to be. So we're going to deal with him directly, for he is the sole survivor, or at least one of the higher known survivors of the fiasco in the Southern Watchtower proper with the Mad Empress. Okay, so let's take a look here. So Dr. Alim Bay on the website right here, because we want to make sure we have sources for y'all. It's right there at the top where we're getting this from. Just know that. So it says here, the First World Order on the Global Paths of the Ancient Ones by Asuru Alim New Tupac El Bay is here. Okay, so this dude Alim, I guess he took out the new Tupac and just left Alim El Bay, because right, well, I'm calling myself new Tupac is asinine, right? Tupac is a goddamn federal agent, an FBI Cointelpro operator, okay? A pansexual, trisexual, homosexual, gangster rap puppet, okay? Someone who led millions to poverty and prison. Okay. Dr. Alim El Bay, nickname is the Connector. He is known as the Shaman Healer. He's also been called the Teacher of Teachers. I don't know why anybody would call him that. Who has he taught? Who has he taught that any of their information could be applicable to the use or the betterment of the empire? Who? The answer is nobody. Let's examine the page for misinformation. Now, there's a lot to go around, right? So I just picked out one that just stuck out. It was this clip from either this book that he wrote or one of these other morons wrote, or, Aboriginal American, pseudo scholars wrote. And they go around passing these books like they're, just so legitimate, even though they're not. They're literally most of the time copy and paste from Tamahu, historians. All right, but anyways, let's go with simply the words, okay? So in this clip, we have some highlighting. So we're gonna go over the highlighted parts, right? So let's see. We are not indebted to either ancient Egypt or ancient Egypt for either religion or masonry, but to America. By the time Egypt and the continent of America were one and the same. What's a continent, y'all? A continent, continuous tract of land. From continent, land. Okay? So continuous tract of land is a continent. Land is ground, soil, also defined of portions of the Earth's surface. Now, is America that? Absolutely not. And why? Because the word America is short for the United States of America. Okay? So America by itself is just because you shortened it from USA, which is United States of America. There's not an American Constitution. Okay? Because America is a corporation with several countries who united into one massive corporation. Okay? And their corporation only has authority, jurisdiction, and power in Washington, all right, known as the District of Columbia. That's where the United States exists. That's where America exists, and nowhere else. Okay, let's go over the word America and the etymology of America, because this is a common lie spread by Freemason Moors. America is a continent, which is surely not. If you do any Google search, you'll find that out very, very quickly. Or, etymology of the word. So in here, you don't see nothing in here about land. Nothing in here about land. But what you do see is it says right here, from modern Latin Americanus, after American Vespucci, in 1454 to 1512. Now, it says here, America Vespucci made 2 trips to the New World, as he calls it, as a navigator, and claimed to have discovered it. Now, discover means, it's a fancy way of saying deceived, okay? So if you do the etymology of discovered, you'll find that it means to deceive, all right? His published works put forward the idea that it was a new continent, which it was not, all right? And he was the first to call it Novus Mundus. So that's technically what America, or what you're calling America, is really named, Novus Mundus, which means New World, aka New World Order. All right. So you do a quick Google search, and it says America is neither a country nor a continent. Okay. Matter of fact, we're gonna do one live because I think y'all could see my mirror screen. So. Let's pull up, because do I got Google here, or I wanted to have Google Chrome right here at the bottom, but I just got this one, but whatever. We're gonna click it open right now. We're gonna do a quick Google search, and we're gonna ask Google search engine to answer this question for us. All right. Now, Google ain't the end all to be all. Is America a continent? Here we go. Is America a continent? And the answer is, drum roll, no. Big NO. Ain't that hilarious? But in this little book clip, The lying Moors. There are here we go. Okay. They will tell you all kinds of horror stories about if you align yourself or identify as African, you're somehow giving up rights or privileges to the American continent. Okay, and there's no such thing as an American continent. So, okay, folly, misinformation that's being spread on a mass. This will be going in another video as well to show. Now, I'm not playing around with these fools. Misnomer confirmed, information debunked. All right, so debunked, exposed for false and nonsensical claims or statements. Now, you're gonna find out that there's a lot of that going on in Watchtower, Dugdahmoundyah, where it's not only me who's calling that out, but that's others are calling it out. So-called authorities are calling that out and using that against these morons, and because they're using it on them, obviously, since we look like this fool, or he looks like us, one of the two, he's perpetrating to be us, a saga more. Come on now. You, my guy, are a Freemason agent, and you've been one, and you've been scamming. Look at this. You give me a donation of $10. It's not a donation. This is a charge right here, bro. When you ask for a donation, you're not supposed to put how much a donation is supposed to be. You're supposed to allow donations to come in as they can. However, this fool doesn't grasp that concept, doesn't care about that concept, and he only wants you to shell out your fiat. Okay, that's what's going on here. This dude's a panhandler of fraudulent information. So he's pretending like he has something of value, and he's giving you snake oil. Okay. So, who is Chief Sugarfoot? Now, this is a picture of our god Naga. Now, peace to the god Naga. He put me online with a chief's alleged chief. It's not even a chief, but Sugarfoot. We're gonna call this one Sugarfoot because definitely not no chief. So Sugarfoot, and I was like, who the hell is Sugarfoot? And so I tried to look up Chief Sugarfoot. Naga told me that Chief Sugarfoot claims that she doesn't do social media, and obviously you don't want to be on social media because we'll barbecue your goofy ass. But anyways, so Chief Zulu, right? I guess this dude's an author. Writes here, my name is Jeffrey, Chief Zulu. Okay, so obviously I'm not gonna call you Chief Zulu, I'm gonna call you Jeffrey. Nix L. And I was born in Washington, D.C. Began researching my identity and found out I'm a native Aboriginal American. I think you need research that. You need to go back and study what a native is, what an Aboriginal is, and what an American is. Okay, because you'll find out that you're not that. And if you are claiming to be that, you are a sovereign citizen idiot who's gonna eventually get your issue. I found this information from attending family reunions and getting backdrops of my heritage and research and studying of my family tree. Although I was taught that I was an African American. You see, you were taught that you were African American because your family doesn't know who the hell they are. Your friends don't know who the hell they are. You don't know who the hell you are. And you've been going around with the hearsay from all these other fools who don't know shit about shit. Okay? But anyways, then he's getting hit up with the Blackfoot, Cherokee, Seminole, and Watchtower tribes. Okay. All nonsense. Okay. After finding out my heritage and discovered that I have no dual citizenship with African nations per my ancestral background, whatever that's supposed to mean, I decided to declare my nationality in 2012 with the Watchtower Nation under Dr. Alim Bay and Chief Sugarfoot. Chief Sugarfoot declared her nationality through Dr. Arlene Bay, okay? And Dr. Alim Bay declared his nationality under the Emperor's Residency, Alim El Bay, all right? Says who is the lawful owner of the Louisiana Purchase. No, she wasn't. Prior to her death, okay, after being nationalized and reclaimed my identity, I pursued doing documentaries, talk shows, and collecting evidence upon my findings, and our ancestor is doing great wonders around the planet. Now, if you're doing, I don't get why anybody who has a platform, why they would go around start running their mouth about what they think they know without doing the due diligence, without doing the actual research themselves. You're going around with hearsay from a bunch of scammers and liars and Freemason Cointelpro agents, which makes you an extension of Cointelpro. Chief Zulu. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So, who is Chief Sugarfoot? When it came to Naga. So, I got an incident report here that I'm going to show you. Now, in the month of March 2021, I was approached by Naga, our god here in the society. He informed me that services was offered to him, and I replied, what services are being offered to you? And Naga replied, license plates for $500. I replied, deny any services from Chief Sugarfoot. We do not recognize her. Okay? Because I'm like, you give $500 to this damn scammer if you want to. Okay, but we're not supporting her. We're not identifying. We're not covering nothing for goddamn license plates, because this is what's going to happen to you. Okay? Because you're better off riding with no license plates than license plates from this fool. Okay. So I found the court document from somebody who doing exactly what Naga had plans to do for $500. He's going to get himself $500 straight path to damn prison or jail dealing with these fools. So I'm glad that he sought competent counsel and, got a favorable response. Now, in the Supreme Court of Ohio, Brandon M. Profit, he thought he was an imperial. However, he identified as a national. So, all right. So this national who acts like a imperial, okay. Brandon L. Profit, authorized rep. So this dude, this is an appeal from a judgment because this dude got his boot smoked at trial. So he went to trial for, here we go. Defendant appellant Brandon Prophet El Bay pro se, appeals his conviction for failure to display license plates in violation of Shaker Heights Confidence Ordinance 113509. For the reason to follow, we affirm the trial court's judgment. So they affirmed the trial court's judgment. They said, hey, this dude's in violation. He didn't deny he was in violation. He, in fact, said he was in violation, which you'll see here. It's the law analyst. But anyway, let's keep it moving. So this dude, El Bay, pled not guilty in this case proceeding to the trial. Okay, so he pled, which means he participated in the trial. Therefore, that's why he didn't get it dismissed, because if you do not wish to participate in this court of these low courts and these frivolous mofos who don't have any jurisdiction any goddamn ways, but as long as you go in there pleading shit, you're participating and you have accepted the contract. And this dude's here it goes. This dude El Bay appealed his conviction, identifying the following statements of assignments of error for review. So he's writing to the court saying that that they don't have this status of United States citizens, proof of contract with the state of Ohio. There goes a contract with the state of Ohio right there, and you accepted it when you pled. Okay, so there's a contract and you agree to it. Okay, it says here El Bay does not dispute that he violated Shaker Heights Confined Ordinance 1135. However, he apparently contends that he is exempt from the compliance with the ordinance because he is a national of the United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah Moor. Now, if you know, the United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah is the group that was it this guy this guy is the head of. All right, he's the head chief of the United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah, as you can see right there with his little flag up there, United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah. So this dude is the dude running around, got these dudes identifying as United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah, right, which is fraudulent, and a lot of those who walked with the Empress, outed those dudes and separated themselves from Arlene Bay and all of them by calling them, frauds and soft SIDS. You can find those, you can find that interview with, what was it, Shabazz or Charlemagne, Shabazz, whatever his name is, the dude, he had a yellow shirt on with the Watchtower flag on it, calling the United Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah frauds. Okay, so let's keep it moving. So this dude goes off and rambles all through this. Y'all can read all this, but let's get to the meat and potatoes. Is at the bottom. So it says here, he argues that he was not required to display Ohio plates on his vehicle because the display of state of Ohio license plates is not mandatory in my own nation, and that his nation has its own indigenous traveling plates, which he contends were on his vehicle at the time he received the citation. Bay's arguments are meritless. That's hilarious. Okay. So because this dude's under the impression that he's under some supreme authority, which he couldn't get unless he's unless he's an imperial, and he's not. He's identifying as a national, and a national, they're like, we got a contract here from your previous contracts as you being a United States citizen, all this other bullshit that you're talking about we don't recognize. They don't have to recognize the M Empire, the Imperium, or the Damaru Society. We're not asking for recognition. We we handle our matters publicly and privately. It says here, fraudulent Watchtower birth certificate. So this is coming from the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. So they put out here, Empire Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah. This comes from the group that was under the Empress Watchtower Alim El Bay, whoever. Her son's group was called the Empire Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah, because one moment they're empire, one moment they're a nation. That's because you have several fraudulent fractions reaching for the straw when it comes to restarting or reorganizing and repurposing their criminal their criminal organization of fraudulent morons, okay, using criminal deception, okay, to scam naive, foolish, what I call them, vulnerable adults who are attempting to run away from slavery, right? They get them and they go, hey, give us $500 to $1,000 or thousands of dollars or whatever, knowing that none of that shit would give them any type of relief from any of the goddamn harassments or whatever that they got going on. That's why we don't take no damn, we don't take none of this shit. We don't create none of this type of shit, because none of that shit's gonna help you. Here we go. Publications of fraud. This coming from the state of Illinois, Department of Police. Okay, so Illinois Department of Police have training. See, look at this. Sovereign citizen aware training. So they use this in their training courses on how to deal with so-called sovereign citizens, like the Moorish Americans, who they call Moors, Moorish. So this is how they feel about y'all. Fraudulent. So check this out. So the Detroit, so that's Detroit. So that's I'm in the territory known as Detroit. Okay, so as you can see, Watchtower printed out these plates, or the Watchtower Ministries of Transportation's conveyance registration. So these dudes are creating registration and pushing it out there, which in my mind is not a horrible idea. However, it's a horrible idea if you don't have enforcers of these, registrations. You don't have no way to enforce your registration or enforce your license plates or defend those who are utilizing said license plates or registration conveyances. I don't have a way to do that, so I wouldn't have done that. But anyways, let's keep it moving. Arlene Bay wants you to know that he is not a part of the 501c3 Watchtower. Okay, so the Watchtower Ministries, as you can see, Watchtower Ministries is transportation. These dudes are a 501c3 religious organization, according to Arlene Bay. Not only according to Arlene Bay, but they admit it themselves. One breath they say that the empire is not, and then they say the ministry are. So conflict, right? Watchtower Ministry. Gavin Long linked to the Watchtower Nation. Now, Gavin Long, there's a whole case about him that y'all should look up. I think I might end up doing a video specifically on him. But Gavin Long proclaimed his nationality with the with either the United or the Emperor, the Empire Watchtower, whatever. He declared his and proclaimed his allegiance to the Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah mofos, right? And he got in a situation where he got in a gunfight with police. He ended up killing like 4 police officers. Survived, I think. This dude killed 4. He dropped 4 police officers. Survived. And what did the Watchtower Empire do? The Watchtower Empire, or the Empire Watchtower, said, "We don't know this nigga." He's a part of one of those offsets. We ain't helping him, and we don't want to. We don't want shit to do with him, right? As y'all gonna find out from the Watchtower Ministries yourselves. So, fraud division, most wanted. So listen to this. I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Y'all could go find this at empirewatchtower.org. Contact them and figure out what's going on. Okay. Now it says there, Empire Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah Moors. I might even do a video of me contacting them, reaching out to them, and record the call and put it out there if y'all like, because I know a lot of y'all are looking at these sites and y'all like, I might try to reach out to them. I guarantee their phone number probably doesn't even work. But anyways, let's see here. We are acting in accordance with the original land patent imperial bloodline, which you're not. United Nations rights on indigenous people. Fraudulent, frivolous, okay. Rights of indigenous people. All right. The original Empire Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah Moors Nation's Constitution, frivolous, illegitimate, and original paperwork of congressional acts, Spanish land grant, and what was it, Misan River, relevant court cases, and original actions and documents used by our past Empress Ferdinand T.R. Watchtower Augusta El Bay. All right. Now, it says here, people on this page are presumed innocent until found guilty in a tribal court of their peers. All of them have the right to remain silent and being represented by representation. The crimes listed on this page has a mandatory tribal hard labor and detention period of multiple years if found guilty in a court of their peers. If the said person failed to comply with the arrest warrants willingly, they will be held without a bond until court date. An expedient and fair trial is what we seek with a fair resolution. Whoa, what the hell? So are they talking about arresting and imposing hard labor on who? On tribal members? On y'all tribal members? So y'all talking about enslaving your own tribal members with hard labor for so-called crimes. I doubt that y'all even know what a crime is. All right, well, whatever. Let's read this part. It says, no, Empire Watchtower Dugdahmoundyah Moors Nation. Oh, wow. They got Empire on one end, Nation on the other end. Not good, right? Do not recognize, condone, or affiliate themselves with the actions of the individuals on this page. What? Upon capture and detainment of the aforementioned individuals, they are to be brought to tribal court for appearances on their behalf of the above charges. They must be considered armed and extremely dangerous, so use extreme cautions upon approaching. If you have fallen victim, please email us of the information so investigation can proceed. Go to contact page for emailing. So let's go down to the meat potatoes, where the admission, we're going to skip this part, let y'all read that. To correct in numerous statements, we are an empire who strives on spirituality of our indigenous culture. How y'all a damn empire with no damn emperor? Yeah, and your empress is dead. Now, I know that they, found some, random mofo to pretend to be the empress and take a little picture and y'all slap the title empress over her head. That does make her empress, though. The empire is not a 501c3 because it is a real nation of indigenous people. Oh my goodness. Frivolous and meritless statements, okay, goes around. We are the only indigenous nation recognized internationally. Not so, but whatever. Our ministry is a 501c3. So one moment they're not a 501c3. Next moment their ministry, which is obviously your church, your ministry is a 501c3, allowing our people to work within the ministry to carry out their ministerial efforts. Bunch of nonsense. So you're a 501c3, my guys. Y'all are the ones who are responsible for this type of stuff. And are y'all bringing those who arrested these people to so-called military court? Obviously not, right? Now, I did just a Google search, right? 501c3s connected to the devil, right? I'm going to assume that all satanic churches are 501c3s, and that's more likely the church that you go to right now is a 501c3. Getting in bed with the government, 501c3 means getting in bed with the government, incorporated, all right? So as you can see, there's a lot of publications and whole books written about how the devil's church is a 501c3, psychologically hoodwinked by the devil. Ministries or churches who deal with 501c3s are being labeled satanic, and I agree. And I'll probably do a whole, I need to dedicate a whole video to 501c3 churches, so I'm not going to get too much into that. Y'all go take a look into what a 501c3 is and how that affects you and your inner workings through your organization, okay? Because there's some give and take, a lot more taking than there is giving, all right? Now, what's the common denominator here? There's another organization that's very interwoven with the Watchtower, Dugdahmoundyah Empire and Nation called the Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, so the Moorish Science Temple of America, we have here a Facebook post of somebody pointing their finger saying that they are not a 501c3. However, here we are with just a quick Google search, and you find several Moorish Science Temples with their tax identification number as a 501c3. So there goes one in Philadelphia. So the Philadelphia Moorish Science Temple is indeed a 501c3. Freemason Moorish, okay? Or Moorish Freemason. What? like what's going on with this, right? Now you see front and center your man Arlene Bay. A part of the Moorish Rite, ancient, free, and accepted Masons. Okay, you see this dude right here in the full Freemason regalia. So this dude's a student or a servant of the Freemasons. Now, you'll find other paperback pushers, Cointelpro operators who sell you your own demise, just like Walmart. We have this guy, bro, Abdul Talib, Bay. Ain't that hilarious? Moors and Masonry. So he wrote this book right here. And he says, who are these imposters? Down here. And he's putting these little pictures like, who are these imposters? And I will probably put this right above or have these pictures right here because y'all the imposters. Y'all are fake Moors. All right. Moor means black. So who fits the description of a blackamoor? Is it these fools or are these guys? I'm gonna go with these guys because they fit the description, unlike these fools. Now, this guy also wrote another book called Etymology and Vocabulary, you see, by Abdul Talib, Bay, or Mozzie Bay, or whatever. It says here, etymology and vocabulary, paperback, $20. So you will buy this book for $20 from this fool, and he can't even tell you the etymology of Moor. And he can't comprehend that the etymology of Moor is synonymous with black. And he got celebrities also pushing the intelligence propaganda for him to scam you and line his pockets with pseudo scholar information or pseudo information, just period. All right, how about it, Hoss? That's what y'all want. You're gonna get all that. Arlene Bay and the NOI's connection. So here we go. So Dr. Arlene Bay, not only is he Watchtower, he's a alumni with the he's a damn Freemason agent. And also, guess what? He's also a part of. He was a student of the Nation of Islam underneath Minister Louis Farrakhan in 1984 to 1988, according to him. You see this? Like, look at this. He's in so much stuff, y'all. It's ridiculous. Alim Bay is like the student of everything and the master of nothing. Okay. She's student acting Imam under Asuru Allah, Nubian Islamic Hebrew. Oh my goodness. Okay. Nonsense. Let's go back up here to Minister Farrakhan. We clearly see Minister Farrakhan is all in. Okay. With Q Sci-Fi, the booty boys out. Y'all know Q Sci-Fi, the tongue licking, neck rolling, dog barking, booty bandits. Okay. I don't know if could y'all imagine Farrakhan out there with his ass out and doing the yeah, could y'all imagine that? That's hilarious. And then you have him also in full regalia of his Masonic Freemason regalia on, looking like a goddamn sellout. So let's go into because y'all know I spoke a lot about COINTEL operations when we were talking about the Watchtower, but now we're going to talk about COINTEL. In Cointelpro agents within the NOI. Now this is from the NOI's page themselves, right? So they all are full knowing of the information that was released, and they're calling it Cointelpro. They are saying, oh, it's not real because it came from the FBI and blah blah blah, or the newspaper blah blah blah. And I'm gonna say that's 100% nonsense. You know, obviously there's a lot of propaganda, there's a lot of fake news. Okay, this I don't think is one of them. However, let's hear it. So Master W.F. Muhammad and the FBI COINTELPRO, according to the NOI, says here the United States government targeting of the Nation of Islam, historical analyst by Dr. Weasley Muhammad or Weasel Muhammad, whoever the hell this dude is. So here we go. It says the July 28th, 1963 issue of the Los Angeles Herald Examiner contained the expose on W.D. from the founder of the Nation of Islam, who members affectionately referred to as Master Fraud Muhammad. The article by E.D. Montgomery, entitled "Black Muslim Founder Exposed as White." Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? So even back then, if you go look at the founders of the NAACP, you'll find out that all them dudes are so-called white, but they're not white. Okay, that's why they created the NAACP, because they are furthering and pushing the black agenda because they're really black. All right, the people who are black are pretending to be white, and the whites are pretending to be black. Okay, that's how Satan has set this whole world up. Okay, he set it all in reverse, including your race. Anyways, let's keep it moving. So black Muslims by the thousands pay homage to Wallace Fraud, their prophet from Mecca, in the mistaken belief that as a founder of the black supremacy cult, he is one of their own. Yet Wallace Fraud is admittedly an enterprising racketeering fake. He is not a Negro. He is a white man masquerading as a Negro. And I'm going to say, That's 100% true. That's 100%, 1,000% true. However, let's keep it moving. They giving all his business. They it's because this is a humiliation ritual. Okay, the FBI and Cointelpro created Fraud Muhammad and put him out there and funded him. Okay, and then they did a humiliation ritual getting him out the way. However, the NOI continues on preaching his vile, toxic rhetoric upon the so-called blacks. Now, why is this also problematic? The Muhammad in the Quran is white, and in the Hadith it says that he's white, and it goes as far as to say if you identify or insinuate that Muhammad is black, you will be murdered. You'll be sentenced to execution. You'll be sentenced to death. It's a death penalty to even call Muhammad black. Muhammad even had black slaves. But yet, you got those running around with Muhammad in their name, and they're identifying as blacks. Come on, y'all. Anyways, let's keep it moving. Y'all can read the rest of that later. COINTEL created by Freemason Moors. Okay, the Cointelpro counterintelligence, the CIA counterintelligence agency, is created by Freemasons. Now, as you can see, Elijah Muhammad here with his Freemason fez on. Then you see J. Edgar Hoover with his Freemason fez on. Now, this is the head of the FBI who created, or at least was the head of the Freemason COINTELPRO operations in the time of the, what was it, late or mid 90s, right? So this dude was a 33-degree Inspector General honorary in 1955. Okay, so let's get that straight. So these COINTELPRO operators going around saying, "Oh, we're not the ones. They're all liars." So we're gonna go from the online panhandling that's going on at Arlene Bay's page. This is the first thing that's on Arlene Bay's page. It's my birthday. Look, the flyer is so big you can't even fit the screenshot. That's how narcissistic, or was it narcissistic, this dude is. This dude put half the damn effort into his damn empire that he does his own celebration of himself. We'll be getting somewhere. So there goes his number. How about y'all call him and try to figure out why he's trying to use Magic 44 to get you to comply with cash apping him for doing absolutely nothing besides leading you into the hellfire. Some of y'all into jail or even bigger penalties, okay? So let's look at some more scamming that this dude has done. Alim Bay, Alim El Bay. So fun scam from the public. Arlene Bay organized this particular fundraiser called United Watchtower Building Fund. He raised $9,572 off of GoFundMe. So this dude's getting GoFundMes, $5 here, $5 there, $5 here. You know, I don't know if he was like, "Hey, I'm selling this book with this, so y'all can y'all get this, the First World Order book." Regular $100? What? Regular $100 each. We appreciate you. It says here, super melanated month special, 2 books for $150. Big frauding, okay? Okay, big scamming, okay. So, all that scamming, this dude is scammed $95,000 that he scammed out of the general public. And have you seen a United Watchtower building? The building goes $155,000. Why? Because they ain't got no damn credit. They have no credit. It takes them $9,500. If you give me $9,500, I'm telling you, I would be in Mexico building a goddamn fortress. You give me $9,000, I'm gonna create a fortress for y'all niggas to run across the border to get to. You know, you need to get you a one-way ticket to Mexico. You give me $9,000. You give me $10,000. Come on, we'll get 3 or 4 buildings for this amount. and this dude can't even get you one damn building. So part one to conclusion. This is just part one. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna break down these fools. I know that a lot of these videos are falling by the wayside. I don't know if I'm getting shadow banned or whatever. I don't know if there's even you know, anybody in the general public who gives a damn. You know what I'm saying? I know that the Moor cult is heavy, and they're gaining traction due to the Facebook, which is a CIA operation in itself. Y'all stay clear. Make sure that you use Facebook. Don't allow Facebook to use you, as well as all these other platforms, including YouTube and many more. Special thanks to all gratitude to all the faithful Moors. White power. We must take full responsibility for our actions and the actions of others who are utilizing our titles, our likeness to perpetrate fraud and criminal activity. We denounce them and we condemn them, and unlike them, we're gonna handle our situation soon as we get a grasp on all those who are in dishonor. The future is ours. Peace, love, and light. Till next time.
Grand rises from the white guy, yeah, that's me. This nigga bait, baby, you can call me KING. I see my people waking up. As a result, this crooked government's been shaking up. They wanna keep my people under that black spell, diluting the slavery. I once was waiting on Jesus, but I found he ain't saving me. The way to be ain't of ignorance. My people suffer from lack of knowledge and negligence. Now check the deliverance. They wanna see us in the cages and coffins. Many of us lost and they know it, so they rewrite pages that cost us. Many of us fought it, but now we awake the sleeping giant. With the help of the serpent bearer, we shall be defiant against all of the evil lies that they be selling. Propaganda they selling to my people, so they stay proud to be black and mercy, yelling the truth. And the truth is we are indigenous to the world. Necklace and net to rules, royalty. They got Nagini, grand rise from the white god, yeah, that's me. This nigga bait, baby, you can call me KING. Grand rises from the white god, yeah, that's me. This nigga bait, baby, you can call me KING. Grand rises from the white god, yeah, that's me. This nigga bait, baby, you can call me KING. Grand rises from the white god, yeah,